Hey there, Eagle Force fans. Today we're taking a look at a trio of 4-inch Crimson Moon action figures. As a quick disclaimer, Fresh Monkey Fiction did send me these figures to review, so the word can be spread far and wide. And if you are interested in getting any of these figures, they are currently up for pre-order at BigBadToyStore.com, and these figures are scheduled to arrive sometime in mid to late May. So if you're wanting these figures, you might want to head over there and get these pre-ordered. I think there's actually a chance these ones might sell out. These seem to have been some of the more popular ones just based off of comments and information I've been reading throughout the community. So who do we have here? We have a Kiloworg. I hope I said that right. This is a Crimson Moon trooper. We've got Count Ironmoon, the Crimson Moon leader, and the Goregills, Crimson Moon aquatic trooper. As you can see, they are on a more standard red card. They are not in those new fancy boxes. And I'll flip this around. They are actually part of Series 8. As you can see on the back, they've got Count Ironmoon, the Goregills, the Kiloworg, Legionnaire, Leon Kelly, and Maverick. So that is who is part of Series 8 there. And if you've noticed that these are the first ones in the upcoming pile of figures, none of these have the little comic on the back, which is a little bit disappointing, but I'm guessing that means these were more designed earlier in the process, and so we didn't quite get that, which, oh man, I was starting to really like the comics. Maybe we'll get some sort of a little comic for these at some point. I don't know. But anyway, right up here, there is a bit of a paragraph about the character, and then, you know, if you're used to Eagle Force figures in the past, then there's some information about the character right there. So anyway, there's not a lot to say about these, except you should recognize some of the styles of these figures. But let's quit talking about the package. Let's actually get these guys out of the off the card. We'll begin with the Kiloworg, and over here on the left side is the actual figure, and I'll throw up on the right side an early render of the figure so you can see if there are any differences. And then we'll jump into actually looking at the figure and accessories. So we begin with the accessories. And the first one, as per usual, is the figure stand with a small and large peg. It says Eagle Force right there. You get this weapon, this gun right here. I like it. It looks pretty cool because I like those styles of guns. There's a little handgun here, and you get a few hands. Now, this is going to be kind of interesting. I'm going to have to scoot this guy off to the side because my camera loves to focus in on those types of things. But I want to bring this hand. It's kind of a trigger hand if we can get it focused in here so you can see it. There, take a peek at this. See that? This sucker's got like werewolf claws. Like, it's got long fingernails. It's pointy. So you got like a werewolf hand that's a trigger finger. That's kind of neat. That's one of the more interesting hands I've seen in a while. Then there are a couple of, they're all gloved hands besides the werewolf hands. They're all gloved hands. You get this open hand right there. You get a trigger finger hand right there. You get a closed fist. And you get the C-shape hand right there. And that's all the hands. Now, you get a couple cool heads. So I can't hold these with my tweezers. But you get a trooper head. I like the look of this trooper head a lot. And you get this head right there. And this is actually a removable beret. So you get the head, and then you get this beret separate. There's a reason I like to use tweezers these days. So my fingers get out of the way so you can actually see this stuff a little bit better. There we go. Let's do this. So you can see this head right there. And the beret, I'm not sure if I can do that with this. This was, oh, actually I can go right there. We go. I found a spot to hook on. There's a little spot on the back. But that's a cool trooper helmet right there. So the Kiloworg is a pretty cool looking trooper guy. This is a werewolf trooper. And, you know, I'd have to say that this Crimson Moon, the more I'm reading about it, the kind of the background of it, makes me think they all should be kind of part of like a subset of Monster Force. Because the Count Ironmoon guy is like has like a laboratory in Transylvania. I should talk about him when I get to him. And like he creates some of these things, or he makes the means to create some of these things. He's got this vest on here, rotatable head. It's all the same articulation. You got the thigh rotation, double pin knee, a hinge and a pivot, and a rotation down here at the ankle. It's nothing really new. I mean, there's no hindrance here whatsoever. Splits, sitting. It's just a really awesome looking figure. I really like the look of this. This is a very, that's my opinion here. It's like, I like the look of this figure. Now, there's a reason this guy is the first one I'm reviewing. It's because I like the other ones probably better. Let's pop this guy's head off and see if we can get this popped on here. There we go. Might be a little difficult to get this off, but let's see if I can bring it a little bit closer and you can see what this guy looks like. I think this looks pretty cool. You could have a nice group of troopers, a group of Crimson Moon troopers. I like the look of that. All right, we're going to try and take this off. Let's see. Oh, yeah, sweet. It worked. And then we're going to slide this head on, try to keep that beret on, and maybe this is what the Kiloworg looks like in human form. So here's his human form, and then, when the full moon, the full Crimson Moon comes out, we get the Kiloworg, or something. I wonder if the beret, could you fit the beret on this thing? Kind of curious here. You could kind of look at that, you could kind of get the beret on there to give it more of an actual look when he turns into the werewolf. Then yeah, he could be still wearing that beret. That's funny. I wonder if can the trooper head? I know you don't want to put this on the trooper head. I'm just kind of curious. It kind of looks funny. So, oh, this is funny. This is awesome. Let's get this head off. There we go. It worked. Get this back on, and I want to, since he is now a werewolf, let's put on this hand right here. The claw is the claw hand. I'll give him this rifle, and I don't know that I've ever seen any kind of media, movie, TV show, where there's a werewolf carrying guns. If you know of one, let me know in the comments. I'd be interested to know. Put this handgun down in the holster on his right hip there. But I don't think I've ever seen anything where a werewolf is like carrying a gun. So this is a werewolf you don't want to mess with, several different ways. I mean, first off, he's got some claws and he will, tear you apart if you're not his friend, but he's also got weapons. So, yeah, the Kiloworg. He looks cool. I like him. All right, let's move on to the next guy. Count Ironmoon. And here, as per usual, on the left side, you have the actual figure. On the right side is the early render, so you can see if there are any differences between them. This guy is my second favorite. Kiloworg was my third favorite. You could probably guess who my first favorite is at this point, but Ironmoon is probably gotta be my second favorite. I really want him to be my first, but we'll get into it. So, accessory-wise, I'm not going to really do anything with the hands because he comes with the exact same hands. He comes with a set of gloved hands, and he has these really awesome werewolf hands. The reason is, if you can't tell right down here, he's got a Kiloworg helmet. Not helmet, sorry, a head. So this guy, in his wacky experiments, creating the Kiloworg, apparently either tested it early on himself or something crazy. Maybe the mixture got into him, and now he is also, it seems, to be a werewolf leader, I guess. You also get the Crimson Moon Trooper helmet, so this guy could actually be a troop builder if you'd like. And I can't remember if I mentioned, but the Kiloworg is a troop builder, so you could have multiples anyway. But the difference is, if you have the Kiloworg head on this guy is definitely the leader. You get the figure stand. I had to talk about the other stuff. The figure stand, small and large pegs, and then you get these really neat little, I'd almost call them ray guns. They're very sci-fi fantasy looking. These are so neat. I don't know if I can express the excitement I have with being able to share these with you, because I think these of all the figures, maybe it's just because my love of sci-fi and kind of like pulp stuff, I'm just like, this stuff is so neat to me. And not really the horror or the monster side, it's just, I don't know, the sci-fi, the fun stuff, all these are very pulpish to me. So, the Count Ironblood figure is pretty much exactly the same, yeah, I think it's the same build, just doing a quick look here. I think it's the exact same build, so the articulation is exactly the same, it's just got different coloring. It works very well. Oh, by the way, his hat does come off, so you do get this little red hat, which is pretty neat. So yeah, I like this guy. We don't have to do a whole lot. He can sit, he can split, he can do the twirls and the swirls and whatever that means. So let's go ahead and pop this head off. We'll see how well we can get this on. So the Crimson Moon has come out. I don't think it's actually on all the way. The Crimson Moon has come out, and he is turned into Kiloworg leader. Count Kiloworg. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think... Yeah, that wasn't on all the way. There we go. Now it's on all the way. The Kiloworg leader. Hey, I wonder, will the hat fit on this one? Sadly, it doesn't really fit on... Actually, I wonder, maybe if I spread it a little bit, will it tuck around the ears? Oh, it almost will. Oh, it almost will. It might... There we go. Look at that. Now he looks like some weird, like, wolf captain, or he's like a zombie captain of a cruise ship or something. I don't know. It's so fun. Okay. Let's see if we can pop this head off without... There we go. The peg stayed in. And let's see what he looks like with the Crimson Moon. Trooper head. I couldn't get that on all the way. It's a little tight, but I think, shorten the neck. Just take lower it a little bit. That's pretty cool. Yeah, you could easily turn this into a trooper. And you know what you could do is if you got several of these, you might be able to actually swap out the arms. Good, there we go. Maybe put some of the red arms on this guy, because that red kind of lends itself. There's some black lines along here. You could swap them out and kind of give them a little bit different look. Yeah, that could be pretty neat. Do some customizing there. I might have to give that a try and see how it works. Oh, look at that. The day has dawned, and he is back to the fearsome leader, the Count Ironmoon, the feared. Oh, these are so much fun. Oh, I can't. These are exciting. I love these. I'd love to be able to actually create dios or dios or whatever scenes. Really awesome. This I would love to be able to do that with these figures so much. So neat. All right, let's move on to the final figure, the Goregills. And here's the actual figure on the left side with the early render on the right side. And I hope you can see some of the updates. And I've got to say, I was really shocked and surprised when I got this. This was absolutely not one of the ones I was looking forward to. This figure just didn't do anything for me. I was like, okay, it's like a sea monster kind of a guy. I don't really care. In hand, this figure is absolutely amazing. I really like it, and I think the biggest thing that jumps out, I know we'll get to accessories here in a second, but I think the biggest thing, we're going to come in as close as we possibly can without screwing up my camera. Take a look at this. This has got some really cool... It's got to be paintwork. I'm not really sure. I don't work with action figures. I don't design or anything. But it looks like a very scaly looking paint job. It's not textured. It's all completely smooth. But it's really cool looking. And there's some depth here. Like if you look at the muscle, you got some dark spots. Almost gives it a little bit of a definition there. You've got the scales. I'm just really impressed at the paint job on this figure. That's one of the things that has really sold me on this is... It's darker than the original, and the original had almost kind of like a camo cloudiness to it, I would say. But these have like little individual... I can't get any closer because it won't focus in. It's not a macro lens. But little individual... and this is just really awesome. I'd love to know exactly how the paint on this was applied. Because it's not like a sticker. You got darkness like right here through the muscle region. Oh, Let's actually get in here where you can see it. But like dark, kind of a darker color. It's really cool. I really like this so much. And because of the difference, or because of how this figure looks, this has become my favorite of the trio. And as I said before, this absolutely was not going to be my favorite. This actually was really low on the list. So I think this is actually really cool. This is a very neat figure, and yeah. So he doesn't really actually come with a whole lot. He comes with a figure stand. He comes with a little bubble head that does not go directly over the head. You'll have to do the separation. I'll do that in just a minute and then tuck it around. He has 2 little pouches, and I mean little. There we go. 2 little pouches, and they are very little, and they hook right here. There's pegs on the sides, and they hook like right on, like that. And so yeah, little pouches. So don't lose them. Be careful. I'm trying to get him to stand again. And then he comes with, let's do this hand here. The only pair of hands are open palm hands, and they are webbed fingers, and they are just sea monstery looking hands. These are like, these are the Crimson Moon aquatic monsters. And so now one thing I'll point out, let's see here, how well can I get? I got a little bit confused, I have to say. So I'm not quite sure the direction that these hands go, because the thumb kind of reaches over into the middle between 4 fingers. And so, yeah, I got a little confused on which, if I remove the hands and then put them back on, I just got a little confused at which ones go on which side. So maybe you'll know better than I. And that's fine. But I thought I'd point that out. I got a little bit confused. He doesn't like hold anything, but he does have like a C grip. So he could hold something. In fact, let's grab this from the Kiloworg, just for kicks. So if I put that in the hand, it doesn't really hold it very well. It doesn't like hook in there. So maybe a different gun would. He doesn't come with one, so... But I might have to experiment a little bit to see. Look at the face. Look at the face on this guy. You know, it's got little eyeballs. It's got like some red in the mouth. I mean, it looks a lot different than the render. I mean, it's a good different. It's not often that I look at an early render and then the final figure and say, wow, the final figure actually looks better than the original render. Typically, the renders usually, to me, look a lot better, and I'm a little disappointed because there's maybe not nearly as much detail, but, you know, that's a me thing, I guess. All right, so let's quickly... I don't want the moment to end here. You know, I want to keep showing this guy off. He's that cool. I think you'll like him, whether you're on the fence or already interested in this figure. So you separate it, and then you tuck it around. Took me a while. Someone out there taught me how to do this, because I didn't know how to do this little bubbly thing. And so I'm so happy that someone showed me and explained how this worked, because I was really down on these bubbles. I really didn't really like them at all. And then how they kind of click in here. Let's see, was it this way? Might be this way. Oh shoot, now I don't remember which way it goes. It might be this way. Might be the way with this like line, this thing going forward. It feels like it's hooked in. But, you know, truthfully, why does the Goregills need a helmet? He's like a water monster, so shouldn't he be breathing underwater? I don't know, maybe this is Goregills in space. I don't know. Just looking here. Oh, does this come off? Or is that glued on? So there's like a little Crimson Moon logo right here. This might be glued on, so I'm not going to try and pry that off. If it wasn't glued on, I was going to point that out. This guy is so awesome. I like it. I like him. He's so cool. He's great. So let's take one final look with all 3 of these figures standing next to each other so you can kind of see what they look like. And we're even going to include a guest star. None other than Wolf Trooper from Skeletron, because, you know, he kind of matches this group, doesn't he? So let's make room for him right here. The only thing that's a little bit different is the fact he is a little bit taller, I would say. and so you can tell the difference. There is a little bit of a different logo here on his chest, but there is the Crimson Moon Trio with guest star Wolf Trooper. So anyway, if you're interested in Monster Force, like, I think this guy might be kind of like a monster creator from Monster Force, just because he lives in Transylvania and he's created these guys over here. But if you're interested in Monster Force, stick around next week on Monday. We're going to be taking a look at a trio of 4-inch Monster Force action figures. Don't forget, if you want to get these 3 figures pre-ordered, then stop by BigBadToyStore.com to get them in before they actually release, and you have a chance of getting them. Otherwise, thank you for stopping by and watching. I will see you next time.